today's Thursday Business Bite. So, welcome. I hope you're having a great day. So, I mentioned last Thursday that February, I'm declaring it to be Profit Month. So, every week for this month, I'm going to be talking about different concepts of the Profit First methodology and how you can apply that to your baking business. So today I'm going to introduce the first core concept that Mike Michalowicz talks about. And again, if you're not familiar with Profit First, it's a cash flow management system. It's based on the book Profit First, written by Mike Michalowicz. And I'm going to start off with the example that he gives to talk about. We're going to be talking about Parkinson's Law. This is one of the core concepts of the Profit First system. So, what is that? So Parkinson's Law, it's from a behavioral psychologist who determined that it's human behavior that we will consume resources based on their demand. So our demand will expand to meet the supply. So I'm going to give you two really good examples to explain how this works in human behavior. So Mike always uses in his book and his lectures, he uses an example of a tube of toothpaste. So think about when you first buy a tube of toothpaste, it's full. You've got plenty. You don't worry about running out because you have a lot. And so at the beginning of that tube of toothpaste, you slather on a big bead. You might drop some in the sink. You don't care because you have plenty, right? But think about how as it gets farther and farther to the end of that tube, how does your behavior change every day? You didn't go to the store. You didn't get the toothpaste. You still got to brush your teeth, but you still have like a little bit in there. So what do you do when your supply is dwindling? You change your behavior to make it work. So you'll start, putting just like a tiny bit on. You'll squeeze, you'll roll it, you'll push it up, and you will surprise yourself as to how much toothpaste and how many days you can get by changing your consumption of that resource because it's less. Okay. So now I'm going to give you a baking example. I've talked about this before. I talk about it in one of my podcast episodes that I will link the episode because I go into a lot more than I'm probably going to do here. But I like to decorate my sugar cookies with fondant, which is actually kind of funny because that was the demo that I just finished, but it works for this example. So instead of doing the royal icing, I just don't have the patience for it. So I just use my white chocolate fondant to decorate sugar cookies. So I had over Christmas time, I had a huge order for a bunch of custom decorated sugar cookies, and I was doing them with fondant. So because I make my own fondant, I had made batches. They were ready to go. The cookies were all baked, and I was working on decorating them. So I was getting to the end of my order, and I was looking at my ball of fondant and looking at all of the cookies that I still had left to decorate. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to have enough. But I was so close. I think I had maybe like a dozen left or something. And I had, a ball of fondant that didn't look like it was probably going to be enough. But I thought, you know what? Maybe I can make it stretch. Maybe I can make it work. So with each cookie left of that last dozen, I rolled that fondant so thin, like thinner and thinner, and was amazed that it still worked just fine. And I made it last. And why did I do that? Because I did not want to stop the process, go make more fondant, wait for it to cool. I just wanted to be done with it. So I made it work. That's a perfect real world baking example of Parkinson's Law. You'll consume the resource based on its supply. So think about how much farther I could have made that fondant last if I had done that from the beginning, but I didn't. I mean, human behavior, we just We don't, unless we make a conscious decision to do so, or we put systems in place to help us leverage our behavior rather than try to change it. And that's one of the biggest things about the profit first system that Mike teaches is it's leveraging what you're already doing. Don't try to change it. Like, make it easy for yourself. Put in a system in place that's going to help you succeed without having to change your behavior. So I gave you my fondant example and the toothpaste example. So how does this apply to profit and revenues and bookkeeping and all that boring stuff that we still have to learn about? So think about your bank account, your business bank account, as a tube of toothpaste or a bunch of fondant. So most small businesses will have one bank account or maybe two. They'll have their business checking and they might have their business savings. So everything goes in to that one business account, the business checking. Usually everything will go into your business checking account, and then you're going to pay all your bills from there. That's usually how it works. But if we apply this concept that we just explained and talked about with, having that full tube of toothpaste, or having, one, think about it too, like a serving platter, like a giant serving platter where all of the stuff's going to go on it, and anything you're going to pay is going to go out of that same serving platter. So if you think about having one bank account where all of your revenue goes in and all of your expenses come out, you will most likely, because of human behavior, you're not going to be as intentional about what you spend. And that brings me to the next point that kind of goes along with Parkinson's Law with profit first, is what most business owners will determine how much they're going to spend on things based on what's in the bank account. You're busy, you're on the fly, you've got a bill, and you're like, okay, I need to pay this bill. Do I have enough money? Open your bank account, look on, log in, look on your mobile app. Okay, I've got enough, it should be fine. Well, in reality, that's all of your revenue and all of your expenses are coming out of this same platter. If it's all in one place and you think you have enough and you're not being intentional about it, it can get you into trouble. And so Mike talks about the danger and the reality of bank balance accounting. So we all tend to do it, and we get busy and we just want to look, how much do I have? Well, in the profit first system, you are going to basically, instead of having one big tube of toothpaste or one ball of fondant, one big bank account, you're going to portion it out into smaller plates, smaller holding places, so that you can be more intentional about what you're spending and make sure that you have money left over for profit, because that's the whole point. But you're just going to do it by leveraging your behavior rather than trying to change it. So we talk about small plates rather than having everything in one spot. So with profit first, your plates are going to be your bank accounts. So with the profit first system, you look at setting up what's called the 5 foundational bank accounts. You're going to have your income account. That's where all of your cake sales are going to come in. Then you're going to have a profit account, and that's set aside money just for you, for your profit. You're going to have an owner's pay account, which is where you pay yourself as the business owner, like a paycheck, a salary. And then you're going to have a tax account, which is where you're going to hold money to pay income taxes when they're ready to go, when you need to do that. And then you will have an operating expense account. So instead of having just one bank account and you're trying to manage everything with this one big account, and you can't really quickly and easily see what's in each account, you'll set up 5 separate bank accounts. And it's almost like the old envelope system, if you've ever known anyone that did their budgets like that, where, they might put, okay, it's maybe not so relevant now because most people don't pay their bills in cash anymore. But back in the old days, like I know my grandmother did this, where she'd have her money for the month, and she would literally have envelopes, like paper envelopes, and she'd have her cash, and she would say, okay, this is the house payment envelope, this is the food envelope, this is the electricity and all the utilities envelope. And she would have those things allocated for specific purposes, and once it was gone, it was gone. And what it did was it basically forces you to make it work. And so the 5 bank accounts are kind of that same type of thing, where all of your revenue from your cake sales will go into your income account, and then that money is going to get allocated based on some specific percentages, and we're not going to go into that right now, but into the different accounts, so that you only pay your bills out of the operating expense account. You only pay your tax out of the tax account. And so it's a whole system, but this is just kind of the core concept. And basically, by breaking it down into your different areas, you're making it so that you can quickly and easily see what you have to spend. And if you're following the Profit First methodology, you will have specific, they're called target allocation percentages. It's the percentage of your revenue, your real revenue, that's going to get allocated to all of these different things. So let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I just wanted to go over that today. And again, I'm going to link the podcast episode that talks about this. And I will also, I think I'll give you guys a link to, it was a PowerPoint presentation, but I think I'll just link the worksheet in there for you, so you can just kind of dip your toe into this concept and just kind of see if it makes sense for you. I can tell you, I've been following this methodology for my cake business for, oh gosh, I don't know, 5 years or so. And then I became a Profit First certified professional in 2020 and decided to integrate all of this in with Cake Business School. So that's it. So that's what I got for you today. So next Thursday, I'm going to be talking about another core concept of the Profit First system. And by the end of the month, after every Thursday Business Bite, you're going to have a pretty good overview of the whole system and how it works and how it can work to help you be profitable in your sweet business as well. So that's all I got for you today, guys. Make sure you watch the replay. If you missed anything, please reach out with questions. If you have any questions, you can message me through Facebook here, or you can send me an email at cakebusinessschool@gmail.com. And also, don't forget, next Tuesday is another Technique Tuesday, so watch for that. And have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you all soon. Take care, guys.